Right now, underneath the blades of your American lawn, an invisible invasion is happening that makes your backyard unusable the moment the sun begins to set. You know the feeling, that high-pitched whine in your ear and the red, itchy welts that ruin a perfectly good barbecue. Most homeowners reach for those giant yellow cans of chemical spray or spend hundreds of dollars on those professional mosquito systems that blast synthetic neurotoxins into the air your children breathe and where your pets play. But after 45 years of working with the old-world agricultural logic of resourceful landscaping, I have discovered that the multi-billion-dollar pest control industry is built on a cycle of false necessity. There is a 3-ingredient hybrid mix that costs pennies to make and uses molecular repulsion to create a no-fly zone that extends 200 feet from the point of application. It doesn't rely on toxic interruption, it relies on sensory overload. Specifically, it uses a botanical frequency that masks the carbon dioxide signal our bodies emit. Today, I am showing you exactly how to blind the mosquito population in your yard, how to use a 5-minute spraying technique stolen from traditional Japanese rice farmers, and how to turn your grass into a scent fortress that is so safe you could practically drink the mixture, though it might not taste great. To understand why this cheap mix works better than industrial chemicals, we have to understand the biological radar of the mosquito. They are not hunting us with their eyes. They are heat-seeking and chemical-sensing drones. They track lactic acid, octanol, and the CO2 we exhale. When you spray your yard with commercial poison, you are trying to exterminate the population. The problem is that mosquitoes have a hyperactive reproductive cycle. You can wipe out one generation, and a new one blows in from the neighbor's yard 3 hours later. The American chemical model is a Sisyphus task. You are fighting the ocean. The old world approach is different. We don't try to end the life of every mosquito. We simply make our space invisible to them. We use vapor pressure and essential volatiles to create a holographic wall of scent that makes your yard look like a barren desert to their sensory receptors. The first ingredient of our cheap mix is liquid garlic extract. Not just any garlic. You want emulsified garlic oil. In the old world of Mediterranean agriculture, farmers knew that garlic possesses a stunning amount of natural sulfur. To a mosquito, sulfur is a scent screamer. It is so aggressive to their antennae that they cannot process any other inputs. When you spray this sulfur barrier on your lawn, you are essentially jamming their radar. They can't find the target. The genius part is that the garlic smell disappears to human noses in about 30 minutes once it dries and bonds to the chlorophyll in the grass. But to the microsensors of an insect, that sulfur signature remains active for up to 3 weeks. You are masking the buffet with a scent shield. The second ingredient is raw apple cider vinegar. This is the fixative. In the world of fluid dynamics, the biggest problem with hobbyist sprays is that they wash away or evaporate too quickly. The acetic acid in the vinegar acts as a surfactant. It breaks the surface tension of the water and allows the garlic oil to wrap around the blade of grass rather than just beating up and rolling off. It creates a molecular film. Furthermore, vinegar has a low pH that neutralizes the pheromone trails left by other pests. You are cleaning the slate of your yard while sticking the guard in place. The third ingredient is peppermint essential oil. This is the tactical finisher. While garlic blinds them, peppermint physically repels them. Menthol is a natural irritant to the exoskeleton of soft-bodied insects. It creates a thermal sensation of intense cold that they find unbearable. By mixing these three, garlic for blinding, vinegar for bonding, and peppermint for repelling, you are creating a triple threat barrier that chemical companies simply cannot compete with. Why? Because chemical companies need patents. They need complex molecules they can own. They can't own garlic and vinegar, so they ignore them. They want you dependent on their synthetic brews. Why is the pest control monopoly terrified of active botanical defense? Because it breaks the subscription. They want you to sign a contract for monthly mosquito fogging. They show up with a gas-powered blower and mist your bushes with pyrethroids. While pyrethroids are derived from mums, the synthetic versions are engineered to persist and can impact beneficial pollinators like bees and butterflies. Our cheap mix is selective. It irritates the high-frequency sensitivity of the mosquito without disrupting the life cycle of your garden's helpers. It is ecological precision. It is plumbing for the atmosphere. The stunning janitor's secret of the application process is what I call the perimeter pulse. Most people randomly spray their grass. That is a waste of resource. You need to think like an engineer. Mosquitoes harbor in dense vegetation, underneath leaves, and in tall grass. They rest during the day in cool, damp shadows. To deploy the 200-foot shield, you must spray the underside. Use a pressure sprayer turned to a fine mist and sweep the bottom 18 inches of your foundation plants, hedges, and fences. You are targeting the barracks. When the barrier is applied to the resting zones, the mosquitoes waken to find their safe space has become hostile. They vacate the premises and move to the woods. In the old world of Japanese gardening, they practiced natural airflow management. They knew that if you could influence the scent of the wind, you could control the insects. This cheap mix works on the principle of volatilization. As the sun warms your lawn, the garlic and peppermint molecules are released into the air column. This creates a microclimate of repulsion. Even if a mosquito is flying 50 feet in the air, the rising vapor of the sulfur and menthol tells its internal navigation system that the ground below is hazardous. This is how you reclaim the airspace without poisoning the ground. The safety aspect is the core of why this method is superior for American families. If your toddler crawls on a chemically treated lawn, they are absorbing those synthetic carriers through their skin. If your dog eats the grass, they are ingesting neuroblockers. With the garlic vinegar peppermint mix, the worst-case scenario is your dog has really fresh breath and smells like Italian salad dressing for a day. We have accepted a staggering amount of risk in our search for convenience. My 45 years in the trades has taught me that convenience is a trap. Effort is the price of safety. Taking 10 minutes to mix and spray this organic barrier is an investment in your family's long-term health. Let's talk about standing water and the stunning surface tension trick. We all know that mosquitoes breed in still water. A single bottle cap of water can spawn 1,000 larvae. Most people dump the water, but nature always finds a way back in. If you have French drains, bird baths, or low spots in the yard, add a teaspoon of our mix to the water. The vinegar and oil disrupt the surface tension. Larvae breathe through tiny tubes that they poke through the surface film. When the surface tension is broken and the oil is present, they cannot anchor themselves. They sink and fail to develop. You are ending the cycle at the source using physics, not chemistry. This is hydraulic pest management. Why do American lawns suffer so much? Because we overwater. We create a swamp and then buy a chemical to fix the swamp. If you follow the 5-minute method, you apply the mix after your evening watering. This allows the scent barrier to set during the high humidity hours when mosquitoes are most active. You are syncing your defense with their biology. This temporal alignment is what master professionals use to outsmart the ecosystem. The stunning genealogy of repellents shows that DEET and Picardin were developed for military use in extreme jungle conditions. They were never intended to be sprayed weekly in a suburban backyard. We have numbed ourselves to the intensity of these solutions. The cheap mix is a return to balance. It is agricultural wisdom applied to modern living. It respects the lawn as a living organism. Synthetic sprays can stress the microbiome of your soil. The garlic and vinegar actually feed the soil as they decompose. Sulfur is a macronutrient for root development. You are fertilizing your fortress. If you visit the ancient citrus groves of Sicily, you don't see skeeter beaters or electric bug zappers. You see companion planting and the use of essential oils to protect the fruit. We are borrowing that grandfather logic. The mix is universal. It works on Asian tiger mosquitoes, Culex, and Anopheles. It doesn't matter the species. They all share the same sensory weakness, they all hate sulfur, and they all fear menthol. The pest control monopoly will tell you that natural sprays don't work. What they actually mean is that they don't work forever. You have to reapply after a heavy rain. But guess what? You have to reapply their poison too. They just charge you $300 to do it. You can reapply the cheap mix for about 12 cents. By doing it yourself, you are decoupling from the maintenance class. You are asserting sovereignty over your 200-foot sphere. As an old-school tradesman, I'm all about structural integrity. Your lawn is the skin of your property. If the skin is irritated, the house is uncomfortable. The genius of this spray is that it soothes the environment. It quietens the backyard. You start to notice birds and dragonflies coming back because they aren't being wiped out by broad-spectrum sprays. Dragonflies are the old-world B-52s of mosquito control. They eat hundreds of them a day. By using a safe mix, you are hiring a natural air force to assist your defense. You are building a coalition. The stunning dish soap secret is the final touch to the cheap mix. Add 2 drops of clear dish soap, non-antibacterial, to the gallon. Soap is the clapper. It binds the oil and water together in a permanent emulsion. Without the soap, the oil just floats on top of the sprayer. With the soap, every droplet contains the full power of the garlic and peppermint. This master-level dispersion ensures that no blade of grass is left unprotected. It is uniform coverage on a molecular scale. Why does the American backyard feel like a war zone? Because we have treated it like one. We attack and defend and destroy. I want you to shift your perspective. Your yard is an energetic field. It has inputs and outputs. If the output of your yard is the scent of sulfur and menthol, the input of the mosquito becomes impossible. You win not by fighting, but by making the fight irrelevant. You have changed the rules of the game. The history of the lawnmower even plays a part in this. We cut our grass short, which exposes the soil and increases evaporation, creating the damp heat mosquitoes love. If you heighten your blade to 4 inches and spray the cheap mix, the thicker canopy of the grass traps the scent even longer. You are engineering a microclimate of permanent repulsion. This is landscape architecture with pest control intent. The DNA of the American homeowner is rooted in action. We want to do something about the bugs. The cheap mix gives you a high-value action. It is cathartic to walk the perimeter and lay down the shield. It connects you to your land. You aren't just paying a guy to mist a hose. You are learning the boundaries of your sanctuary. You are checking the fence lines. You are observing the growth. You are becoming the master of your 200 feet. The stunning financial reality is that a 1-year supply of garlic oil, vinegar, and peppermint costs about $40. Compare that to a standard yearly mosquito contract of $600 to $800. You are saving a staggering 700%. That is money back in your pocket for tools, renovations, or a family vacation. The pest control monopoly is taxing your ignorance. Once you know the formula, you repeal the tax. In the genealogy of health, we see that chronic exposure to low-level environmental toxins is a stunning driver of modern ailments. By removing the synthetic pesticides from your daily life, you are lowering the body burden on your children and pets. You are clearing the air. You can smell the peppermint. You can smell the rain. You are living in a sterile environment that is clean because it is balanced, not because it is poisoned. In conclusion, your lawn doesn't have to be a breeding ground for annoyance. It can be a shielded sanctuary. By mixing the garlic, vinegar, and peppermint, and applying it with the underside sweep technique, you blind the radar and repel the invasion. You protect the littlest members of your family while starving the predators. You exit the transactional loop and enter the loop of mastery. The bugs are looking for a target. Don't be one. Use the vapor wall. Trust the sulfur. Respect the menthol. After 45 years of seeing the failure of chemical warfare, I am telling you the truth. The best defense is invisible, organic, and cheap. Reclaim your sunset. Reclaim your grass. Spray the barrier and live in the zone of peace. You are the guardian of the shield. Hold the line with nature's own frequency. The mosquitoes have no choice but to depart when the air itself becomes the enemy. Stay dry, stay safe, and enjoy the night without the wine. The power is in the mix.